Hello and welcome back to Podcasting as Praxis. I'm David, my pronouns are he and him.
I'm Jamie, my pronouns are he and him.
I'm Rob, mine are he and him.
And I'm Alistair, my pronouns are also he and him.
Oh, we really did get it all out of our system before we started, that's good.
Yeah, I know. I have nothing to give you but my love.
I have nothing to give you but my unalloyed hatred.
Of Michael Wanker.
Looks like the boys have really put their foot in it this time.
Drives off in a car with a Confederate flag on top saying, that's what it takes to be serious on the left. Fucking dickhead. Anyway, let's talk about some violent mobs that are besieging the streets of Britain and blocking ambulances and, have been wiped away by the forces of the police, as they rightly should be. Let's talk about some fucking land-based aristocrats and also Jeremy Clarkson, shall we?
So just stop oil.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Legion of Gym Bros that were going up to tell Aaron Bastani how cool and clever he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Often when I'm on the top of a big mountain, I have, various goats come up towards me and say, wow, podcasting as practice is simply the best. Better than all the rest, they say in chorus.
Yeah, I'm just racing up the mountain as the sun is just beginning to hide behind the peak of the mountain, just so I can kick and scramble at the side of Rob's tent and be like, yo, I got to tell you about how much I like your podcast. Let me in.
Yeah. Alistair's got so many muscles, man. He's just come off the free weights and he wants to tell me how good I am.
In case you hadn't clocked, it's International Hate Aaron Bastani and Michael Wanker Day.
Yeah. Yeah. Not us, though. We're not allowed to criticize each other because we all receive the same wage. Therefore, we are the perfect specimens, and shut your fucking mouth about it.
Well, it's in my opinion, it is very simple and easy to fucking go off on people who on supposedly left-wing people who refuse to stand up for trans rights, as they fucking claim to have done up until very recently. You fucking pricks.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, but. Yeah, But hey, that's not apparently not part of being the serious left, because if I understood Michael Wanker's point correctly, there's even in the left there's a hidden majority, a silent majority, if you will, that doesn't really care about that stuff.
Just to cap this all off, if anyone ever who is meant to be progressive in any way uses extremely suspect phrases like TRA brackets trans rights activists in an unironic, sincere way, then you should immediately cast all your aspersions on them. Yeah, well, I mean that as well, but just any goodwill should be immediately withdrawn, and the subsequent multiple quote tweeting of a friend of the show, John the Duncan, rightfully giving you shit for it, and just not wanting to actually confront the fact that fucking Michael Wanker used that phrase, and amongst other stuff. Yeah, fuck you. You don't deserve any of anyone's time, frankly.
Yeah, well, how many times has John the Duncan sat at the baby table on Fox News?
It's really important.
He spends his time sitting at the baby table while we're playing D&D with Sinan, so.
Yeah, look, it's really important because we have to meet former left voters who simply watch GP News every day. We have to meet them where they are. This is a serious project. We are a serious podcast.
Yeah, we have to meet them where they are, which is way off in the background of the shot.
Yeah, or behind the pub next to the bins, if there are enough, of course.
My favourite thing about that photo of Michael Wanker on GB News is it looks like that fucking MP, which is fucking Gordon Bacon or some fucking cunt. It looks like he was behind the door when they gave out little like angels to sit on your shoulder.
Oh man, shall we talk about some farmer protests and the bullshit that is currently being sold to us by like half the media? You know, that the small family farm is about to disappear. Yeah. So if you have not blessedly not been paying attention today on this day of recording, or whenever you're listening to this, for the first time in like many decades, 4 decades to be precise, landowning farmers are actually going to have to pay some inheritance taxes over assets worth over £1 million.
Yeah,
the first million is still tax free though. So
previously zero inheritance tax on that, right?
Yeah. I mean, this was a Margaret Thatcher policy, just to indicate how good it is in general, and it was simply there to protect a large estate landowning class, people that are worth protecting, I suppose. And by people, I mean, quote the Financial Times, according to tax experts, the policies overwhelmingly benefit the country's largest estates. This is shocking to me. Critics of closing this loophole, which is called agricultural property relief, have argued that wealthy people have snapped up estates that own farmland in order to dodge death duties. People say like, I don't know, Andrew Lloyd Webber, worth easily north of £500 billion, and the owner of a 5,000-acre estate somewhere in Hampshire, I believe. Or, TV's favourite megastar and puncher of people for sandwiches, Jeremy fucking Clarkson.
Sorry, can I just highlight how funny the term death duties are?
It's incredible, yeah.
It is so fucking funny to me. Like,
shut the fuck up.
It's so funny. That phrase is so funny to me because it's another one of those completely meaningless phrases like double taxation. It's like, you pay tax multiple times all the fucking time. Like, that is not any kind of defense whatsoever of whatever insane, free man on the land shit that you're about to peddle. Like you... You can't even come for something like that on the basis that it's a double tax. You can come for it on the basis that it's completely regressive, because it is, but like it just bonkers otherwise.
Yeah, it's fucking insane, and it's also like it's not to be taken at all seriously because, like, again, quote the Financial Times, the number of properties acquired by actual farmers has been in steady decline. Private investors, lifestyle buyers like, say, Jeremy Clarkson, and institutional investors have bought half the farms available in 2023 and more than twice as much land as farmers, according to some land agents. And it's just like, the people we're taxing, and I hate giving credit to the fucking Labour Party, but the people that are being hit with this tax are not like, all farming lobbyists always do this, especially the very wealthy ones. They just go like, look, we're small bean family farmers who are, like having a really hard time making ends meet, say the Duke and Duchess of, Norfolk or wherever the fuck. It's always the same thing.
The thing you have to understand about this is that the Labour fuck up here isn't trying to tax people, like seemingly having landed arse backwards into taxing rich people for some reason. They have done it in such a way that it's kicking up this massive fucking fuss from, the worst dickheads in the country. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's over like just over £500 million worth of taxation, which is not a huge amount in the scheme of things. But
but it comes from the right people, which is funny and good.
Yes, but also you end up having fucking Beth Rigby going to Keir Starmer. Is this a new form of class warfare? And him studiously saying, I grew up on a farm, I was raised on a farm. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
No, I have that quote for you here. My first job was on a farm. I grew up in the countryside. All of my entire family live in the countryside. All of my entire family in a borough like Badgers.
Glad you clarified that he didn't claim to grow up on a farm, because I was like, what, his dad fucking grow hammers in a field somewhere or something like that.
Yeah, the
Why doesn't he even have
his entire family doesn't live in a farm. Some of them live in fucking Downing Street.
Oh, you
Well,
see,
some of them
but
also-
you see, the Labour Party do live on a farm. It is called Animal Farm.
Oh,
Think of that.
Damn.
Got 'em.
All right, episode over. We're
Me
not
for
gonna top
Spiked
that.
Online.
Or Navara. Coin flip.
I hope the flip of the coin somehow explodes and kills me.
Well, the sad thing is, Starmer doesn't even have the donkey sanctuary to fall back on, because apparently that was sold off, or at least the land that it sat on was sold off.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean, right? Like, if Starmer had any sort of political news, he would actually be able to make a coherent argument for why it's actually good that these, like, again, the worst dickheads in the country should be paying any tax on their massive amount of assets. But instead, it's incoherent bullshit about how his entire family was grown on a farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it's also wild. It's like, if you just came out and said what it is you are actually doing, which is like, look, we are taxing massive landed estates and people who've been, not buying farmland to actually be farms on it, but as like a way of avoiding inheritance taxes.
Yeah.
Then it's like, you'd get more people behind you, but because he can't do that, because he still thinks he can keep these people on side, he's just stuck in this setting, and it is very funny.
Also, he's just incapable of saying anything that isn't an appeal to, like, authenticity. Like, oh yes, I you know what I mean? Someone will go, like, remember when someone fucking asked, was it Blair that got asked what he thought about, like, fucking Coronation Street's latest storyline or something?
Oh my Christ alive! Yeah,
Deirdre Barlow was going to go to prison, and, like, someone in the Commons, I think, asked Blair what he thought about that. Imagine if someone fucking asked Starmer like that question. You'd get the phone book back. He'd be talking for fucking hours about oh yes, I used to love Coronation Street, and, like, you know what I mean, and Quality Street.
My whole entire family used to live on Coronation Street.
My whole family loves cobblestones. You know what I mean? Just fucking on and on and on. He's the most boring fucking prick alive. Like.
Also, the world's fakest and cuntiest farmer, Jeremy Clarkson, was, of course, out and about on this particular day in protest.
Fucking rinsed, and it was beautiful.
By the BBC, by Victoria
Yeah,
Derbyshire.
no, I mean, who saw them doing something useful?
Victoria Derbyshire tends to be, like, quite knives out when she does interviews. Like, she's one of the few you can have.
Has she actually stabbed anyone?
No.
Well, then don't use that phrase, because I got excited.
Well, there's no witnesses.
But yeah, like, she correctly said, yeah, but when you bought this farm, you literally gave an interview to the Times saying, I've bought it to, avoid inheritance tax. So why are you now here standing up for the little guy?
Didn't he also name the farm, ha ha ha, fuck you, Jeremy Clarkson, will never pay inheritance tax?
Is that real?
No, he named it Diddley Squat because it was never going to give him any returns, which, that's how you know he's a real farmer and not,
because
a
it's how much
multi-millionaire.
inheritance tax he was going to pay.
Yeah.
Imagine buying a farm and naming it mycrimes.txt.
Well, actually, he did that. This is from Mick Wright's Broken Border Boy, of this parish. He dragged up the quote from 2021. This is Clarkson talking to the Times. Quote, land is a better investment than any bank can offer. The government doesn't get any of my money when I die, and the price of food that I grow can only go up. But there is a much, much more.
When does this change in inheritance tax happen? When does it take effect?
2026.
Okay, well, you better die now, Jeremy. It's the only way to be sure.
Well, he just had a heart attack not long ago, so you never know.
But yeah, but when he was pulled up on this by Victoria Derbyshire, I have the quote here as well because it's quite good. He said, "That's actually quite funny because the real reason I bought the farm was because I wanted to shoot. So I thought if I told a bunch of people that I bought a farm so I could shoot pheasants, it might look bad. You see, I wasn't doing it to dodge my taxes. I was doing it so I could slaughter animals on my private land. That other thing that loads of people across Britain just simply fucking love."
You know what might if you're buying a farm, you know what might sound better as an excuse if you don't want to, like, cop to fucking shooting things is I'm gonna grow vegetables. Like, People might believe that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe don't ring the fucking Telegraph, was it? And just go like, oh, you know what? Guess who's got 2 thumbs and isn't paying any more inheritance tax?
Yeah. Guess who simply loves slaughtering, reared and imported livestock for fun? This guy.
It's not as if he could have fucking not just avoided it through other means anyway. Inheritance tax is incredibly easy to just not have to deal with.
Yeah.
You'd just be poor as shit.
That's the easiest option. The other option, which obviously, as you'll agree, is far more difficult than that easy option, is being incredibly rich and simply putting all your money into a trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, that is hugely difficult.
The other thing you have to that needs to be factored in is the fact that because of this, until until 2026, whatever it was you said, Rob, you are still getting 0 inheritance tax, which has over the last 30 years increased artificially inflated the value of the farms themselves, which is why you've ended up with like these completely insane figures, like a £5 million or £6 million farm earning like slightly above the median wage. Wow, I wonder
like
if
40 or 50 grand or something.
Yeah, I wonder if the value of that asset isn't necessarily in the actual returns that it gives you. I wonder if that may have played a part at any point in increasing the value of this asset. Who's to say?
I mean, what if there was something like a difference between the value of something as you use it and the value that the market gives it? But what if such a thing existed? But bet nobody's ever thought of that before.
Me and my mates would have killed the free market with hammers. I can tell you that much.
And with good cause.
Yeah.
The Praxis Cast farm isn't a tax dodge. We're simply here to grow hammers.
Yeah. Punch pheasants for not bringing us sandwiches or whatever the fuck.
That would actually be kind of mint. I just want to turn up at the next protest like one of the little hammer bros from Mario, just like flicking endless hammers around.
Imagine if he'd said like, I'm in awe of that fucking like shitty excuse. No, I only said that as a cover story. I actually wanted to shoot things. You know what I mean? It's like you could have said like, I want to train a cow to say racial slurs. There's like a million different fucking stupid reasons you could buy a farm, and people would go, yeah, checks out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's also, I mean, they did, like I said, manage to drag out at least one other big name to, talk about why there should be inheritance taxes.
Oh,
and that was
Barron.
fucking Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Oh, slightly bigger name, probably.
Oh, yeah, sorry. And
God, is he not
the
dead
Gay Frogs
yet?
guy. No, I don't think he can be.
No, he's still around bothering the frogs.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean him. I meant Andrew Lloyd Webber. I mean, he might be bothering the French as well. Like, I don't know.
But yeah, the last time I saw Andrew Lloyd Webber politically engaged was in 2015. When he flew back from his home. Yeah, from his home in New York to make sure poor people were a bit poorer.
Fuck you, Andrew Lloyd Webber. Your musicals are trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to be a party when that cunt dies, like, isn't there?
Yeah. The farming lobby was
spreading
around
light entertainment.
The farm lobby was spreading around this story that like this inheritance tax would hit 70,000 farms, but according to an article, but according to an article in Byline Times, they based that number on assuming that literally every farm in Britain changes its ownership every 10 years, which
okay.
I mean, who knows what the next form of corona is, but I simply don't think that that's like a likely thing to be, essentially. And anyway, according to like the government press release about this, by the time like not just this 1 million tax threshold. Actually, it's 2 million if you're married, because like you can double count it. Like if you and your partner are both registered farmers, you get 2 million in tax exemptions, not one.
Right, well, you should double tax it then. If you can double count it, you can double tax it. Fuck you.
That's what I think as well, yeah. But like the whole thing basically doesn't kick on unless you have over £3 million in assets, which leads to like less than 500 farms a year who would actually pay some amount of inheritance tax. And even then, because this is labor and again they can't do anything properly, they have to like sort of weasel it out. Even with this new tax, your heirs can pay off like this inheritance tax over a period of 10 years interest free.
I mean, like,
so that's like,
so
Why?
so if you have like a £4 million farm and both your parents are farmers, they both die in a freak tractor accident. So that's £2 million.
Both fall in the grain silo.
yeah, mysterious hammering accident. Yes.
What is it? It's like, is it like 40% inheritance tax?
I can't even remember what the sum is, but it's really not that much.
Yeah, so like that's what, let's call it 40%. 40% of 2 million. That's 800,000 over 10 years. So like 80,000 every year, and that's assuming that 40% is right.
Also, interest free, and over 10 years, the inflation goes up, so the value of your actual debt goes down.
Maybe they should see the farms they've got, like make money with them. Would that help?
Yeah, no, but that's but you're not supposed to be doing that. Like, you know, you can't.
Yeah, what are you, some kind of peasant?
Well, you could hire some peasants and pay them money in exchange for services, and you would make more money, and then you wouldn't have to care about this shit. And your farm might actually provide something of value that wasn't just basically fucking empty land.
Yeah, but what if literally every valuable farm in the UK, like we just turned them all into Amazon Prime Originals? I'm sure there's space for it.
No, I like my idea.
I mean, look, apart from, of course, the other very obvious thing about this protest is like, oh, it's fine if, you know, farmers and people in barber jackets, you know, if Aaron Bastanis basically turn up to like block roads and ensure that ambulances can't get anywhere. But, you know, heaven forfend if you try to like do some protesting about climate change. Actually, speaking of which, I saw that some Just Stop Oil people turned up in support of this fucking demonstration, and I'm like, you know, what?
Exiled landowners.
That is some extremely confused protesting.
Yeah.
Do you think they turned up as sacrifices in the hope that the Range Rovers would just start turning on themselves?
No, maybe they just thought, like, you know, if there was one opportunity they were going to get to, like, march through London and not be, like, run over by the police, this was it.
Yeah. The only thing, look, but I think this tax is going to stay because, you know, A, it's a good idea, and B, like, it's not actually that much money, as we just discussed. But the only thing that will, I suspect, happen of any consequence, because, you know, all of this happened last year and 2 years ago all over Europe, is that essentially all of this, like, is going to further enliven and enrage the worst fucking new right-wing pricks and the Tories who were out in force, you know, supporting our farmers, as were the statue
The only
bus
reason
people.
that I would say that this is actually a good law, because it's just kind of like fine, whatever, it's not really brilliant, is
it's hardly collectivization of the kulaks, is it?
No, yeah, it's not a 5-year plan, definitely not, but what it should do is also apply to Charles.
Yes.
Because I would love to see 40% or whatever that cunt gets fucking taxed on.
Well, I mean, we didn't talk about it, but there was that big investigation into, like, the private ducal estates of Charles and William, and yeah, they don't pay any taxes. They just, like, do it voluntarily as a show of how nice they are. So they're exempt from all this anyway, nice. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Being a landlord for the love of the game and the money.
But yeah, like I said, like I've seen this in Holland. It was really big, for example, and like we got like whole new like right wing parties out of it, because obviously it very quickly moved from like protect our farmers to like blood and soil stuff, because like you can make that leap very, very quickly. And here's Farage talking to the Telegraph podcast today. Quote, I think North London hates rural England. They think they're too white. Things like that. Net zero, of course, being pushed on them. They're just different people. There's a complete disconnect, I think, between town and city in the most extraordinary way.
Why?
And for some reason,
are
my
we
dog
seriously
just perked
talking
up.
about white farmers? Like,
Yes.
is he feel that Robert Mugabe will appear from the fucking grave?
I feel like we're going to hear a lot more about Magna Carta in the near future.
Yeah, among
even
other
more,
things, yeah.
even more than we've already been hearing about that fucking document.
Yeah.
Look, we simply need to make space for Robert Mugabe on the left to show that we're serious about power. My article for fucking Novara. Oh, fuck's sake. No, this is today is a nothing, but the after effects of this will be something. I'm fairly confident on that, because this kind of, because all the farmers are already like, oh yeah, today we were peaceful, but next time we might not be. So, I mean, and remember a couple of years ago when like France had like the proper Gilets jaunes thing, and then like a couple of like UK like half-wits basically tried to do the same thing. So the farmers are just going to come back and...
But even more racist.
Yeah. So these farmers are just going to come back and, do the European thing of, spread manure everywhere. And that will be funny, except for, of course, like the poor, underworked, underpaid people, overworked people who have to fucking clean up after it. But, this will just be round 2. It will happen. Like, I can almost guarantee. Like, it's so fucking obvious. Anyway, in some brighter news, in some different news, I have good news for you. Or Bridget Phillipson, Education Secretary, has good news. You remember how we did that like really, really depressing episode about child social care a while ago? Well, it's been solved. Problems aren't problems. Yeah,
We've simply abolished the children.
To be fair, Britain is like 5-10 years away from doing that as an actual policy.
No. I was in fact being facetious, because this country could not conceivably abolish something that has like a marginal return of something like 90%.
Yeah, I mean, if you want a brief reminder, we did a whole podcast about it. It's called The Careless System. You can find it wherever you're listening to this, blah, blah, blah. Like, subscribe, patreon.com/expressiscast and all of that noise. But yeah, as a very brief reminder, some of the most vulnerable children in the UK are also an asset class for private companies to make money off of, and they are also a growing and frankly outside cost to increasingly bankrupt councils. Not that spending money should at all matter when it comes to safeguarding vulnerable children, but the costs of child social care, all borne by councils, has gone up from 3.1 billion 15 years ago to 7 billion 2 years ago, just to give you an idea of what's going on there. But like I said, we fixed it now. I read a document and I saw Bridget Phillipson on the television, and here's the solutions. Ofsted is now going to be able to issue civil fines to privatized social home providers. So it'll be easier to find people who, endanger, again, incredibly vulnerable children. So that's good.
Civil fines, as in I can easily go to court and argue against this and probably win.
Yes, like that. But Ofsted could. So that's the important bit. Also, another thing that I think you'll agree will simply solve this, there's going to be a new law which will force private providers to, quote, open their books, just so councils, for example, can see how much the rate of return is. Like, they can see it, but the profit is not illegal. But if they know, for example, that, this privatized child home is making an extraordinary rate of return, then they could go somewhere else in the marketplace of care for children.
Yeah.
Great.
I love how often we've heard the word excessive in this discussion. Because they obviously can't say like profit is bad, so it's like, oh, we should stop care homes from making excessive profit, and it's like,
Yeah, I mean, I think
define
this might be considered something of a hot take, but I believe that any amount of profit that is taken from extraordinarily vulnerable children and the housing thereof is a moral a moral vacuum of activity. So maybe don't be doing that and just house these children without making money hand over fist.
Maybe everything above zero is excessive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought this point up, because
probably just do things.
Well, actually, because Sky News actually brought this up when interviewing Bridget Phillipson, and she simply responded with, "We are where we are. We have private providers."
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, it's not the government's place to do things.
Actually, but we are the government, and I think you'll find nothing ever happens.
Yeah, government do things. No,
communism,
like good. Exactly. Yeah, but don't you worry about it, because they might perceivably do something in the future, quote The Guardian. If they do not voluntarily put an end to profiteering, the government says it will introduce a backstop law to put a limit on the amount of profit private providers can make. So, we would simply curtail the amount of profiteering on, vulnerable minors. And I think at that point, we're done. We're done around here. But, I do know, and I recognize that in the meantime, before, these laws get passed and there's a 2-year bridging period or whatever the fuck, there is like a substantial and growing funding gap. And like I said, councils are going bankrupt, but don't you worry about that. I said, the cost of balloon by, by 4 billion in the last decade or so. But Bridget Phillipson told Sky News, she told them that there's going to be a £90 million investment for councils, like a new pot of money to use.
Oh, which I think is bigger than 4.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on your outlook in life.
Yeah, so, but, last word on this, because, I was reading the Guardian article and it was kind of shit. I was like, I'll go to the source and just, read the government's own press release, because, maybe there's more information in there. And, hey, you know what it turned out to be? Guardian article, government press release, pretty much exactly the word for word. So, they rearranged some paragraphs. It was very important. Thank you, Guardian.
Please subscribe. Our journalism is important. Little whingy.
Yeah. For a mere 3.5, you've read 700 articles this week.
Seek help.
I can't. I do this podcast. This is all your fault. Anyway, before we turn our attention to the delightful article that I found, a rare bit of international politics, because you know how there's still a war going on in Ukraine, and it's going incredibly well. Like, everything I read about it is like it's a raging success, and we've pushed back the USSR to its original frontier. Wait, no, that's wrong. Yeah, so because that's going so incredibly well, noted war criminal and, outgoing dotard Joe Biden has, yesterday or 2 days ago now, declared that the Ukrainian army is going to be allowed to use long-range missiles that can strike 300 kilometers inside Russia. Just to make sure that war, ramps up, a nice little bit, right before, the next insane dotard takes over.
It is completely bonkers. Whatever your view on giving arms to Ukraine to fight the Russian invasion are, whether you think it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, irrespective of that, firing long range
American missiles,
American-made
with American assistance to fire them.
Yeah, NATO-made, NATO-guided, NATO-manufactured missiles into a nuclear power. Is that a good idea?
Paranoid nuclear power, a sort of angry, scared nuclear power, to be precise. One that's already shown that when threatened with, external forces on their border, are willing to push the button and go a step further than you want.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
I mean, what could go
mm,
wrong? I mean, this is just refusal to funnel every single form of arms into the hands of Ukrainians is simply an admission you want Russia to absorb the entirety of the Ukrainian state. There's no
Yeah,
middle
I mean,
ground
look,
between those two.
look, I don't want to scaremonger because the Americans have said, yes, you can now fire missiles into Russia, but only with regards to the current Russian attack on the Kursk region and nothing beyond that. So, like, you can't use it for anything else. So, like, if there are train depots that are feeding this current Russian offensive, those you can hit, but nothing else. How do you draw the line between, train depot A and train depot B, or like a munition storage somewhere? You can always claim that one of those bullets might have been in or near Kursk. So, like, you could see that as, a carte blanche to do whatever the fuck you want, but have like a fig leaf cover.
I can't
It's
help
fine.
but feel
We will
like
trust the literal fucking comedian who is in charge of the war.
I can't help but feel like that in this situation, in similar situations in the past, there was the Cuban Missile Crisis. There was one particularly calm and collected Soviet general who thought maybe it wasn't even a general, was it? It was just some guy in a bunker somewhere, thinking that maybe the West won't be firing missiles probably wouldn't be firing missiles at us at this point. That guy has been cut due to budget restrictions. So now we can just assume that the machine is telling us that these missiles have been launched is in fact correct. So yeah, no problems are going to happen there.
But have you considered that if that guy hadn't done that, we wouldn't be having to talk about this just now?
Yeah. The Cuban Missile Crisis was a land of contrasts.
Yeah. See, what I would do is simply let ChatGPT handle all this the next time, and I'm sure it'll be like absolutely fine. But yeah, of course, in the meantime, because we are the pathetic little cousins of the United States, Starmer and also the French have now followed suit and allowed their own long-range missiles also to hit inside Russia, which are called Storm Shadow.
Oh.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, and the question you might be asking is, wow, but we're doing all this new cool, missile whiz-bang stuff. Is that actually going to solve anything? Quote The Guardian. These long-range missiles, however, are not seen as a magic bullet, and Russian forces have already been gaining ground in the country's east. Ukraine's big problem is that it is in dire need of troops, as Kiev is struggling to mobilize more people to join the war. So, it's not so much...
Because they've spent the last, 2 years feeding them all into a fucking meat grinder.
Paint a face on the missile, put it in a uniform, and then fire it. Problem solved.
Yeah. We really have to do everything around here, fuck's sake. Like, Russia, of course, in response to, this new policy, has announced its own new policy, which is they have loosened their stated rules on the use of their nuclear missiles.
I saw this on the Daily Mail while I was getting commentary. It's they've promised a nuclear attack before Christmas, apparently.
Oh, David is to be happy then.
Yeah, that's seems like that would be a 100% accurate description of what they said. So I'm not going to question it.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no point in them setting a date for after Christmas because then Donald Trump will be president and they won't be allowed to use the missiles anymore. So
yeah, me scampering down on Christmas morning, looking in my stocker. What's this, Santa? A Tsar bomber? Wow, thank you.
Fetch me the hammer.
Exactly. I get a hammer and a Tsar bomber. It's going to be the best Christmas of all time. Yeah, so like I said, so Russia has changed its posture. It will now regard, quote, an attack from a non-nuclear state, if backed by a nuclear power, will be treated as a joint assault on Russia. So not just the Americans, but also technically the British, who are also technically a nuclear power, although that is debatable whether or not we are separate from the US in this regard. If those Storm Shadow missiles strike inside Russia, then technically, within the Russian new rules of engagement, they would also find themselves well within their rights to launch nuclear strikes at the UK.
Cool.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, and not
Love to
not,
do
not for
statecraft.
yeah, and not for no reason or anything, but like Russia still currently holds the largest nuclear arsenal in the world, so it's fine, it's no problem. Autocratic, paranoid state that's been bleeding troops and money for a long while, and where, if you can believe the numbers, the price of food is going steadily up, so revolution might be in the air. That's great. Let's fire more rockets at those people. I look forward to the future. But because, of course, we have an imbecile political commentary class, this loosening of the rules and the storm shadows that we're now going to throw at the Russians were greeted by Kevin McGuire of the Daily Mirror as a big mo.
Like off EastEnders.
Every missile with a fag hanging out its mouth.
Oh, can you just imagine the fucking posts on Twitter after the bombs begin to fall, just like Laura Koonsberg quote tweeting someone taking a picture of a mushroom cloud and just being like, "Wow."
The last tweet of Peston before all our eyes are blinded is a picture of a nuclear cloud going, "Oh,
concerning."
If we make it past January, whatever the fuck it is date this time, and Trump becomes president and then immediately says, right, you can't use those missiles anymore, nailed on, Starmer will say you can use even more of ours, and this somehow results in just Britain being deleted from the fucking map.
We should be so fucking lucky.
I know, right?
Yeah. Doggerland supremacy.
Starmer's not going to defy the fucking king of the United States. Come on.
David Lammy lunging for the button.
Luke Akers is just going to beg to be strapped to the in place of a warhead. Just send me in, Chief.
It would do more damage than any other part of the arsenal could.
Yeah, but God. Like I said, part of this is done to sort of lock the American military apparatus even closer into Ukraine, because as of January we're going to have a Cheeto in charge again. But don't worry, but for you today, because look, we're not going to do more American election covers, because for that you have to pay us, patreon.com/praxiscast, £5 a month.
Not worth it.
You do. We've already done it.
Yeah,
but
this is the one podcast that will tell you it's not worth it.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Everything
is fucking expensive.
Subscribe to Praxiscast at patreon.com/Praxiscast.
What I have for you today is an article. It's from The Guardian, because I think what's very important for all of us to know, it's an article by noted normal person Carol Cadwallader.
Oh no!
Oh yes!
Oh no! What's Brexit done this time? What's Russia doing Brexit done this time?
No, it's America has done something. Actually,
is it
not
Russia
even America
has done America in a Beavis and Butthead kind of way? How to survive the broligarchy? 20 lessons for the post-truth world.
Fuck off! There is no earthly way that all 20 of these are going to be worth hearing.
Well, some of them might sound suspiciously like duplicates of other reasons.
I can't wait to hear 10 rules for not having a fucking life. Get on.
I'm getting some fucking cake out the cupboard. I've had enough of this shit already.
What kind of cake?
Almond fingers.
Ooh.
All right, I won't do all of them, because some of them are fairly I'll just give you the top line of them, and I won't read the rest of them out because they're a little bit boring. One, when someone tells you who they are, believe them. Blah blah blah. That's not very interesting. But the second one, and remember, this is noted.
That first rule is already going to get you subjected to so much fucking fraud on the internet.
Yeah, but rule number 2, because this is noted truth seeker Carol Cadwallader: journalists are first, but everyone else is next.
What difference has your journalism ever made to anyone's life other than your own?
Yeah, but it could. Trump has announced multi-billion lawsuits against the enemy camp, newspapers and publishers. His proposed FBI director is on record as wanting to prosecute certain journalists, publishers, writers, and academics.
My fundamental question to Carol here is, what are you going to do about it? Like, fundamentally, what are you? Yeah, you're going to write a series of extremely whiny fucking articles in The Guardian or whatever, which will do something. Remember Mueller? Remember how that was gonna undo Trump? Remember that fucking documentary that you were in about fucking Cambridge Analytica or whatever, which did change literally nothing? Remember all that stuff you did? Remember all those really annoying fucking posts you did on Twitter about all this shit, which changed nothing?
Wouldn't it be fucking wild, Carol, if there was a social media company that did a bunch of election interference, and you did a bunch of work on it and it changed absolutely fuck all because another bigger social media company did even more of it a second fucking time? How fucking weird would that shit be?
Yeah. Also, and what if, hear me out, like the reason that your hated, Brexit opponents finally fell actually had absolutely nothing to do with you or truth-seeking journalism, but was rather that one of their, former colleagues was pissed off enough and had enough, videos and photos to just bring the whole House of Cards down at a moment of his choosing? What if that? What if you never had the power but were just a sad little stenographer?
Yeah. But what if the first rule of surviving the fucking dudiarchy or whatever the fuck she's talking about was right to stay on Twitter because you know what I mean, leaving Twitter just because it's a wash with Nazis is tantamount to surrendering Ukraine to the Russians. That was her, right?
Yeah, probably. I can well imagine that it's her.
Something someone posted.
Journalists, publishers, writers, academics are always in the first wave. Doctors, teachers, accountants will be next. Authoritarianism is as predictable as a Swiss strain. It is already later than you think.
Oh, fuck off, is it journalists that are first? There are so many fucking people in America alone, who have been taken first versus fucking liberal media elite people. Fuck off.
Sorry. Yeah, it goes, first they came for the communists. Shut the fuck up, Carol.
3. Yeah. To name is to understand.
What? So if you
here we go. What has she named and what has she named it?
Oh no! You're getting this all wrong. Donald Trump, right, is a fairy, and if you know his name, then you hold power over him. Yeah. But if you say Donald Trump to him, he just melts away.
Right. Here we go. This is McMuskism. It's McCarthyism.
Oh my god. I hate liberals so much. What was McCarthy doing in that period in American history, Carol? What was he doing? What was the committee of Un-American Acts or whatever it was?
House Committee on Un-American Activities, I think.
Yeah, that's the one.
That was it, yeah.
It's McCarthyism on steroids, political persecution plus Trump plus Musk plus Silicon Valley surveillance tools. It's the dawn of a new age of political witch mobs where burning at the stake meets data harvesting and online mobs.
Witch mobs?
Yeah, online witch hunting mobs.
Yeah, it's called World of Warcraft.
At Ordo Malleus have problem. Oh, 4. If that sounds scary, it is because that's the plan.
What if it sounds confused?
Yeah. Trump's administration will be incompetent and reckless, but individuals will be targeted. Institutions will cower. Organizations will crumble. Fast. The chilling will be real and immediate.
I mean, if Donald Trump is such a... I mean, I can't imagine Carol had many problems with Joe Biden being president, right?
None whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, if Donald Trump
I haven't looked, but...
If Donald Trump is such a, structural blow to the United States, then surely the fucking politicians who are the elite that's around them, who are responsible for his re-election, I can't even get the thoughts together of how fucking annoyed I am at Carol. And what did she even? I assume she was like perfectly happy with Harris's campaign because
it was a perfect campaign. So
yeah,
why wouldn't she be?
Yeah.
There's nothing she could have done.
Did you forget about Queen Latifah, Alistair? I think you might have forgot about.
I'm always forgetting about Queen Latifah. It's true.
But I also have good news. Point 5. You have more power than you think. We're supposed to feel powerless. That is the strategy, but we're not. If you're a US institution or organization, form an emergency committee, bring in experts, learn from people who have lived under authoritarianism, ask advice.
By what metric have people who have lived in America all their lives not lived under authoritarianism?
Well, they have constitutions and freedoms and whatnot. Also,
they've got all this stuff written down on paper, and then it never seems to fucking matter.
Also, I fucking love that. This is the most liberal brained thing of all time, because when she says you have more power than you think, her next thing isn't join a union or fucking arm yourself or do anything on a personal level.
Is it subscribe to my Substack?
No, her next line is if you are an institution, form an emergency committee. Like, these people have wrapped themselves so much into state institutions and NGOs that they just think they are one. They think they're their own I don't know, Carol Cadwallader Limited or whatever the fuck. It's wild.
Yeah, that's that sovereign citizen shit.
I found the post I was looking for.
Oh god.
Yeah, she posted on Blue Sky. She posted a link to a Guardian article. Guardian will no longer post on Elon Musk's X from its official accounts. Platform's coverage of US election crystallized long-standing concerns about its content, says Guardian. She posted that with, so I just posted this on Twitter and asked for views on it, and the Blue Sky exodus. Isn't it just ceding ground to Musk? Zelensky didn't pack his bags and decamp to Poland.
Yet.
Yeah, remind me how Western liberalism has ended up helping Ukraine. Has it managed to resolve this invasion thus far? No. Whoops. Oh well.
They've got a lot more armed Nazis than they used to have.
I'm sure that's not true. Probably.
Let's see. I'll skip one. 8. This is. Oh no! Shit. Sorry. I will have to do this one. 6. Do not kiss the ring. Do not bend to power. Power will come to you anyway. Do not make it easy. Not everyone can stand and fight, but no one needs to bend the knee until there is an actual memo to that effect. All caps. Wait for the memo.
All right, Kropotkin.
Never do ass to mouth until you get it in writing first.
I'm sorry, but
thank you, New York State COVID advice.
Yeah, Praxis Cost Limited will simply not bend the knee until we've received the appropriate paperwork. But at that point, because all the stamps are there, we have to. This is fucking Christ. I'll skip a few because it's not. Oh, sorry. 8. Protect your private life. The broligarchy doesn't want to have one. Read Shoshana Zuboff's. Read The Age of Surveillance Capitalism. They need to know exactly who you are to sell you more shit. We are now beyond that. Surveillance authoritarianism is next. Watch The Lives of Others, a beautifully told film about surveillance in 80s East Berlin. Act as if you are that.
It's so fucking funny that her problem isn't the capitalism part of that; it's the surveillance part. Like, two things can be bad at once.
It's gonna be like East Germany under the communists. Can you imagine?
Yeah. Also,
have
top tip:
have a frame of reference for bad things that isn't the Soviet fucking Union. Just once.
Lionel Hutz thought bubble.
Also, top tip to resist, the broligarchy: watch a movie with your friends. It's fun.
Is it Goodbye Lenin?
But Jamie, to your point, the next sentence: act as if you are now living in East Germany and Meta, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp is the Stasi. It is.
Oh.
Is that why we should keep posting there? Is it?
Yeah, because you're not being a good liberal unless you're telling the state everything you're doing at all times.
Yeah. Carol Cadwallader said critical support for the Stasi, did she? I think this woman might be a fucking idiot.
Carol Cadwallader has terminal protagonist of history syndrome. She genuinely thinks that fucking dark forces are out to get there. CIA hit squads could, get her every fucking second of the day.
The CIA wouldn't do that. They're the good guys, come on. I'm really looking forward to this era of liberals really, really, really defending the CIA because Donald Trump maybe says something bad about them. Or
fires a director or something.
There's too many people working there. Yeah, it's going to be complete dog shit. I can't wait.
Well, they already lionized one of those. Well, who was it again? General Kelly or Mattis, one of the guys who was Trump's chief of staff or defense minister, who said that he was like Hitler, and then roundly forgot that those guys were all fucking massive war criminals in Iraq.
Yeah.
And number 9, throw up the Kool-Aid.
What?
So, why did you drink it in the first place, Carol?
No.
What are you admitting to?
What the fuck?
Allow Carol to explain. You drank it, that's okay. We all did. But now is the time to stick your fingers down your throat and get that sick tech bro poison out of your system.
I thought, isn't Carol a massive advocate against misinformation? Surely she of all people should know that it wasn't Kool-Aid, it was Flavor Aid.
It was Flavor Aid, yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, I'm gonna have trouble reading this.
Always a good sign.
Phones were still are a magic portal into a psychedelic funhouse of possibility.
Things
She's
I
thinking
say,
of drugs.
Things I say after hitting the bomb but not realising it's been loaded with salvia.
Apps that Carol Cadwallader has on her phone. Binaural beats.
Yeah, I spent my whole weekend snorting 3210s. It was really intense, man.
What kind of glue do they put in phones, and is she on it?
They are also tracking and surveilling you even as you sleep, while a Silicon Valley edgelord plots ways to tear up the federal government.
How is tearing up the federal government helped by knowing I'm asleep? It's not my job. It's not my job to fucking keep it intact. Do you know what I mean?
Actually, Jamie, you didn't know it, but you are one of the phylacteries of the US government.
I mean, ultimately, if there was any risk of Donald Trump or Elon Musk actually ripping up the federal government and, you know, dismantling all of the institutions that make it what it is, then there would be like actual outcry from fucking like American elites and like global elites as well. But fundamentally, like especially the Democrats, they are fucking fine with Trump being president because all he's going to do is do the exact same fucking policies that they were going to do, but without any of the fucking mealy-mouthed hand-wringing
stuck on top. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, we got to split kids up at families up at borders and put kids in cages. That was bad when Donald Trump wanted to do it, but now all of a sudden we're no longer seeing those pictures of AOC frowning as she looks at
dressed in all white like Jesus.
Yeah, the problem was Donald Trump didn't wait for the memo.
Yeah. Well, he didn't write one. I think that might be worse.
Oh, well, we know a guy who's good at that.
Number 11. Think of your personal data as nude selfies.
No, I won't be doing that.
I'm going to
entering my name and recoiling in disgust.
A veteran technology journalist told me this in 2017, and it has never left me. My experience
the GP rings me and like, oh, we just need to check it's really you. Can you give us your date of birth? And I just start whistling modem noises to make a fucking nude appear on the computer screen.
Imagine if you could like phone freak your way to like Donald Trump's phone. I think that would be quite amusing.
Learn to whistle the exact pitch that fucking renders Goatsy.
Fully nude, standing on top of my fax machine, trying to feed my toes in first.
I really want to do that at the end of an episode now. Like, you know, we would just do the thing where it was that you could download the game from the telly. But it's just a picture of Goatsy.
All of a sudden, you'd find out who else on your train is listening to Praxis Cast in the morning.
They're calling it the Red Brown Note.
Oh my god.
Oh, she really has got such sights to show us.
Think what a hostile legal team would make of your message history. This can and will happen.
Receiving a legal summons just says 0 out of 10, no ring.
Oh, fuck.
Being personally sued by Donald Trump. Like, the first thing into evidence, like your nude photo was only rated a 3 on Hot or Not. Case closed, Ron. Number 13. Even dickheads love their dogs.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
We saw all those fucking marches in Britain, didn't we?
Find a way to connect to those who disagree with you.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
So
No.
the people who disagree with you and are coming into power are East German Stasi angry legal team seeing your nude DMs in some manner or other, but you should
like
also
dogs.
make friends with them.
Yeah.
The fascists are coming over the wall, but have you invited them for tea yet?
Yeah. Have you complimented the fascist Alsatian?
The obvious mistake of those who find themselves in opposition are to break off relations with those who disagree with you, texts Vera Khrushchevskaya, the co-founder of TV Rain, Russia's last independent TV station. You cannot allow anger and narrow your circle. So at the same time as these people are, destroying your everything and, doing McMuskism, you should still be... This is so fucking liberal.
I'm not listening to anything that's came from Russia's last independent whatever. What that tells me is it's the Guardian for Russia.
Yes. But this one may
They were
be
good
my
until the
favorite.
KGB came and took the computers away.
Now I feel like that would only have improved the situation.
This may be my favorite one because, once again, this comes from Karol Cadwallader, who's like just a fucking closeted liberal writing for The Guardian. Number 14. Number 14, pay in cash.
Yes.
Ask yourself what it...
Is she going to become one of these, contactless people?
She's becoming a soft set. Yeah.
And I was going to say number 15 is learn what an admiralty flag looks like.
Yeah, but she's actually like...
This is why you need to treat all your data like it's a nude, because it's illegal to use a legal name.
It's only legal if it has colons in it. We learned that in previous.
Yeah, treat your personal data like quantum nudes.
Pay in cash. Ask yourself what an international drug trafficker would do, and do that.
What?
Traffic drugs, then. That's her advice. That's her advice for surviving the fucking police state. Is start a fucking cartel.
Consider uniting your fruit.
Where in the world is Karol Cadwallader?
Oh my fucking god.
Oh, this is fucking incredible.
International drug traffickers are not
Good
going
news.
to the
It's good news for fans of invasive hippo populations.
International drug traffickers are not going to the dead drop by Uber or putting 20 kilograms of crack cocaine on a credit card.
Oh, someone's been watching Breaking Bad. Fuck.
It's so fucking annoying when I have to swipe my credit card on the meth deal.
It's so fucking... It pisses me off so much when someone so fundamentally uncool is talking about drugs. Oh yeah, the dead drop and the fucking 20 kilos of crack cocaine. You have never been near a joint in your life, and it shows.
Yeah, anytime I would like to get a little spliff, I just go out to the park and sit with a comically large newspaper on the bench and wait until someone else appears next to me and pulls out a similarly sized newspaper.
I only pay for my melatonin with John Wick doubloons. In the Broligarchy, every data point
stop
is a...
fucking saying it, Carol.
Every data point is a weapon. Download Signal, the encrypted messaging app.
Do you know what else is a weapon?
Disappearing messages.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
15. Remember, writer Rebecca Solnit, an essential US liberal voice, she's a fucking half-wit at best, emails, if they try to normalize, let us try to denormalize. Let us hold on to facts, truth, values, norms, arrangements that are going to be under siege. Let us not forget what happened and why.
At least until a memo comes in, eh?
Yeah.
It's just baffling, like, because what are these fundamental truths that we're meant to be clinging on to? The fact that America is a hyper-violent settler colonial state that just...
No, don't be silly.
No.
Because that is, that is axiomatically true.
Hamburger.
Like, fucking...
No, they're home of freedom and hamburger, and I will simply not inquire any further.
Yeah.
How does the Constitution go again? We hold these truths to be self-evident. No one's ever paid for a kilo of crack cocaine with a credit card.
Yeah, last time I tried to pay for crushed Nokia 3210s to snort on my credit card, transaction didn't go through. It was really fucking annoying. And then you think, point 16 might be redundant because we've already had don't shrink your circle. But find allies in unlikely places. One of my most surprising sources of support during my trial was the hard-right Brexiter David Davis. Find threads of connection and work from there.
Wow, I wonder if that might be because you have more in common with a hard-right Brexiter like David Davis than literally anyone else. Much to think about.
Yeah. And in your spare time, you can write frenemies to romance novels about it.
Yeah. Unlikely allies, I'm sure sounds smart to her, but we only need to look at fucking Jess Phillips in a car with Jacob Rees-Mogg.
Yeah.
There was nothing unlikely about that.
Yeah.
Point 17 is we were 15 kilometers outside Washington, D.C. when the mobile phones began to hit. There is such a thing as truth. There are facts, and we can know them.
Cool. That's like far out, man.
Yeah.
How much ayahuasca did it take to figure this out?
20 kilos.
Ayahuasca.
No, she cribbed the shit from somebody else. From Tanzan Shaw, professor in philosophy at New York University, can the skeptic resist the tyrant is one of the oldest questions in political philosophy. We cannot even fully recognize what tyranny is if we let the ruling class get away with lying to us all.
Oh, yeah, we wouldn't want the ruling class to lie to us. That would be such a fucking terrible thing. Oh, fuck. At least it's all they're doing, though.
What's Carol's stance on all the fucking lies of Keir Starmer's? Keir Starmer, or his cabinet. I wonder where she lands. Are there like hard hitting truths like Rachel Reeves' CV that need to be laid out in the open for all to bear witness to? Like, fix your own shit at home before pontificating about what people in America should be fucking doing. You fucking sanctimonious idiot.
Imagine being a trot, but for liberals.
Getting done in with an ice pick made of gummy bears, essentially. 18. Plan. Silicon Valley doesn't think in 4-year election cycles. Elon Musk isn't worried about the midterms. He's thinking about flying a SpaceX rocket to Mars and raping...
Are you fucking kidding me?
Fuck off.
Fuck my life, like.
People can only do one task at a time.
When Carol was a little girl, did she read all the Mr. Men books and think that there was this mysterious race of oddly shaped men and women?
We need
she spent enough time around British commentariat and politicians, though, so, like...
We need a 30-year roadmap out of this.
Wow,
So,
great. We're going to fix...
This just goes back to rule number 1. When someone tells you that like they're going to take a fucking rocket to Mars in the next 20 minutes, believe them.
Yeah. Even when they've been telling you this for like fucking ever.
Yeah.
For the
In
last
these dark times, my guiding light was the simple principle of fucking credulity.
I clung on to the idea that ball must be under the cup somewhere.
So 30 years, we need a 30 years plan.
Yes.
Right, okay. I mean,
Ambitious.
6 Stalins can't be bad.
Yeah, it's just more Stalins.
So long as at least one of them's a climate Stalin, that yeah, go for it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm back on board, Carol.
And of course, because these are liberals. 19. Take the piss. Humour is a weapon. Any man who feels the need to build a rocket is not overconfident about his masculinity. Work with that.
Fuck are you talking like?
Yo, what if
Call him
John
a wank
Oliver,
puffin.
right? What if we just had more John Olivers and like John Stewarts? What if that?
What if we said Elon Musk had a weird dick? Yeah.
Yeah.
Would that solve the world's problems?
Yeah.
What if, right, and hear me out here, what if we suggested that Elon Musk and Donald Trump were fucking?
Yo.
What would the possible outcomes there be, aside from like 70 million of the worst fucking followers that Twitter has to offer?
Thank you, Banky.
And the last one, just to leave you on a high note.
Have fun with
They are
it.
not... Number 20, they are not gods. Tech billionaires are over-entitled nerds with extraordinary historical luck of being born at the exact right moment in history. Treat them accordingly. Yeah, no.
It was purely a matter of timing, not maybe like place and people and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, not material
Don't
circumstances.
mention the emerald mine or anything.
No.
Yeah. Certainly wasn't capitalism.
No, not material circumstances.
It was just the computers.
Not, the fucking global economy looking for a new asset class after the US housing market collapse or anything. Nah, it's just fucking roll of the dice, They just rolled a whole bunch of natural 18s and now we're here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pure luck. It wasn't at all .com bubble 2. What if this time the planet blew up?
Anyway, these 20 rules should set you up very nicely.
I always thought the only thing the pets.com fucking collapse was missing was an extinction level event.
Yeah, well, good news. This time it's humanpets.com.
God. Has that guy escaped containment or something?
Oh, probably. It's only a matter of time before he's fucking kicking about blue sky, isn't it?
I think he's already there.
No.
All right, well, now, I've given you all the clues, Mr. Listener. All you have to do is follow them.
20 completely
Or indeed
inscrutable
don't.
rules for life.
Yeah, I mean, one of the world's great thinkers. I'm sure we can all agree.
Right, well, now we've got that shit out of the way. Shall we round this off in the traditional way?
Yeah, why not?
By doing truth and facts with comment or commentariat.
Right, this first one has a subtle hidden message to it, so see if you can spot what that is.
Okay.
Lettuce, gherkin, bacon, and tomato. Any ideas for Q? Is that comment or commentariat?
Commentariat.
Commentariat.
Comment.
Yeah, that was a comment in the Daily Mail. It was on the article I'm sure everyone's aware of by this point. Now Gen Z are waging war on our sandwiches. How younger Brits are ditching English classics like ham and mustard in favour of fancy woke fillings.
Wasn't one of the quote woke fillings chicken?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh man, I was just really happy to see that like the good old avocado was having like a revival as, you know, the fucking snob people food.
Yeah. There is an arrogance too to dog owners that again reminds me of the parents of small children. Ricky Gervais describes it perfectly.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, fuck off.
Tom,
Oh, look at him covered in custard. Isn't it sweet? No, it's horrible. I don't want a yapping chihuahua seated at the neighbouring table any more than I want a Pomeranian foraging beneath my table for tidbits. Is that comment or commentary?
That's restaurant, so that's Giles Corrin.
yeah, commentary, yeah.
Yeah, that was Celia Walden in The Telegraph. How dare dogs and their arrogant owners ruin my Michelin-starred dinner? Why does Putin think he can kill with impunity, bring in foreign troops and ammo supplies, etc., yet threaten nukes to anyone else? Yet threaten nukes if anyone else does the same. Didn't Putin mass attack Ukraine with Iranian drones? That's all right then, is it? Is that comment or commentary?
What?
Yeah, remember when the Iranian drones attacked Ukraine?
No, did they?
No. I don't know. Maybe.
I doubt it.
There's a lot of stuff going on over there.
Yeah, that's comment. That's two word salad.
Comment, yeah.
Yeah, that was a comment in the Express. Ukraine launches massive attack with US missiles as Putin issues nuclear warning.
Oh, best ignore that.
Yeah. It's just more woke whining from, like, you know what I mean? The communists.
Yeah, communist anti-nuclear annihilation supporters.
All right. Are you ready for what I believe this is termed in sports a layup? Today, Jack Regan from the Sweeney would say, "We're the Sweeney, son, and we haven't had our dinner yet. So unless you want a good kicking, you'd better stop posting rude things about people on Twitter." Is that comment or commentary?
Little John.
That's
Little John.
That sounds like a Little John to me.
Yeah.
You fools! That was a comment in the Daily Mail.
No.
Oh no.
That was on our TV critics' definitive guide to the 30 best classic British shows you can binge right now, from Blackadder to The Sweeney. So obviously I've given away two of them there, but do you want to have a guess at the other 28
Porridge.
greatest ever British TV shows?
40 Towers.
The one specific scene where Del Boy falls through the bar.
Right. Well, no one know. I think.
Wow.
I'm not interested then.
Linda LaPlante's Killer Net. The
No.
miniseries. Cut in four.
Fort Boyard.
That's Army.
Surprisingly not.
Is that purely on the basis that you can't watch it?
Maybe, yeah. But
Morecambe
yeah,
and Wise.
you're missing out on such like obvious classics as Face to Face.
What?
What the
Yeah, it
fuck
was-
is that?
Celebrity interviews apparently in the 60s, because I'm going to do these in like chronological order. So there was in the 60s there was Face to Face, Wicker's World,
Who?
Maigret, The Avengers, but don't get excited, David. It was the one with fucking like the guy with the bowler hat.
I resent
not fucking
the
Thor.
fucking attempts here to make it sound like I would be excited for that.
This is. Is this like a top 30, or are you just like reading the programming of TV10 Gold? Like, do we need to put an ad in for like Stand
This is the Daily Mail's definitive guide to the 30 best classic British shows. So, you know, obviously Steptoe and Son, Fucking Crossroads.
Okay.
Never watched it.
See if you've ever heard of this one, though. 7 Up.
Oh, is that the Up documentary series? I've heard about it. I've never watched it. People tell me it's a thing.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be... You're doing better than me. That was apparently a documentary where they in the 60s, they like interviewed a bunch of kids who were 7, and then they came back every 7 years to interview them again.
Yeah, I think they're still doing it.
I remember that.
And obviously Monty Python's Flying Circus, because, like, you know what I mean? Presumably because John Cleese hates woke.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then the 70s is like just a fucking absolute laugh riot with Upstairs, Downstairs, Parkinson. Remember when he got attacked by the emu?
No.
Whatever happened to the Likely Lads? Some mothers do fucking have them.
Fuck me.
The Sweeney, Rise and Damp, Blake 7, so on.
Yeah, right, Blake 7, okay.
Yeah. The 80s, Boys from the fucking Black Stuff. Obviously, Gives a Job, etc. You know what I mean? Our Frida St. Pet, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, Poirot.
Poirot's nice.
And then the entire cultural output of note of the 90s was House of Cards, One Foot in the Grave, and The Darling Buds of May.
I mean, House of Cards was alright. Like, it's better than the Yank follow-up. I mean, for all the reasons, but...
Yeah, but there you go. So that's you should all go out and watch some of those on. You can binge them right now. I'm reliably informed.
Oh, cool. I won't.
Do not ask where.
Yeah. So there you go. That's your comment and commentary.
Well, thank fuck.
Yeah,
for that.
and impromptu TV review.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, have you considered buying one of those bars with a little door in that you can step into?
This is just another phase in our like slow transformation into teletext, so we can stop actually recording these.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's how we escape the broligarchy, David.
Oh, right, okay.
Install teletext to get disappearing messages.
Time to go. Patreon.com/PraxisCast, extra episodes, bonus clips as well on the Discord, and access to said Discord. All available for...
It's worth it.
A princely £5 a month, so do it. You will also get merch available at praxiscast.tmail.com, and at some point we will maybe stream something, possibly, at twitch.tv/praxiscast.
Yeah.
We've just been very busy.
Will we though?
And or very lazy. You pick.
Yeah. I know. The vast stream of royalties we've been getting from Twitch is drying up.
Anyway,
bye.
See ya.
Yeah. and hashtag resist.